Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel Wild, a life coach and tarot reader. And today I want to talk to you about the topic of overcoming addictions in your life. The first thing that I want to point out to you is that addictions are an energy that we can allow to run through us and in our lives. And it is not a part of our identity. Like I have an addictive personality, you might hear some people say. And surely, if that's the story that you're telling and that's what you believe and that's what you've taken on as part of your identity, not only is it going to manifest in your life, it's going to make it harder to detach from it because you have secured your identity around it. So I just want to differentiate right now. It's not so much a personality trait, it's not so much in your genes or whatever passed down. My parents had addictions and now I'm going to have addictions or whatever. It's not that. It's simply this energy that has the potential to run through our body and manifest in our life if we feel it, if we allow it, if we keep providing momentum for it to circulate. And I can tell you all of this because once upon a time, I also had addictive energies show up in my lives in different ways, in my life in different ways. And I can say today that I don't have any addictions at all. I don't grapple with anything like that. My life is very balanced. I feel like a much freer and happier person. I don't really feel cravings like I need to have this, I need to have that, and so I just want to help you today by sharing some things that I realized along my path as I was overcoming this addictive energy that was manifesting in different ways in my life. And I just want to share this today with you with the intent of really helping you overcome that in your life as well. And just to know that it's possible, it may seem like a big thing to divert your energy into a new way of being after maybe you have been entertaining addictions for a little while. But it is possible. People, I want you to know, do it all the time. I'm not the only one. There's so many people who have risen up out of that energy. And so the first thing that I really want to share with you today is that it's important to know that all addictive energy comes from a space of needing to fill something that is empty in your life. It's a feeling of emptiness. It's a feeling of not really knowing your worth, not really knowing who you are, not really knowing what you deserve, not really believing that you're good enough. This is the core of it. So when you have all of that stuff going on in your life, it manifests as needing to cling to different things to make you feel better temporarily, to fill that kind of void, right? So I highly suggest that if you're struggling with addictive energies, go watch my video on how to overcome the fear of death. Because when you watch that video, you are taken along the journey that I had experienced, where I came to know my true self. I came to know my spirit, my soul, and when that happens, that emptiness that you may feel before is filled up now, and you are able to live a much freer and happier life, knowing who you really are and deriving your sense of self and your power from that deep place within you, instead of trying to get it from anywhere in the outside world, which is just going to give you a temporary feeling of instant gratification. Let's get into a couple of practical methods So you realize that where it's coming from, you realize that it's not part of your identity, it's not who you are, it's just an energy that you're choosing to let run in your life. So what do you do now? Okay? You choose a different way of being, and you know the power of a decision. It's a purposing in your heart that you don't want this anymore. And it's a realization that when you decide that, the whole universe, the whole world decides with you and brings you the support and backs you up in that decision. Now, here's what I want to talk about next. Because yes, it's a choice, and yes, you need to believe that your choice is supported. You also need to take action in the exact opposite direction. So, for me, instead, I filled my time with something else that made me feel better. So, it could be anything, but this is what you really, really need to keep in mind. If you let it, your mind is going to circle back to I need it, I need it, I need it, I need it, I need it. Okay, and it might feel like it's a very impossible hurdle to get over because your mind chatter and your body discomfort is like so intense that, while it would just be easier to keep doing what I've been doing so that I don't feel all this discomfort and I don't have all this agitation in my mind. And here's what you just simply need to remember in the moment. This is happening so intensely because I am right now in the process of rewiring circuitry in my brain. I'm creating a new neural pathway right now. And you have to understand that with addictive energies, it's this very fast, chaotic kind of energy that rages through you. And when you're releasing that, it's going to put up a little bit of a fight. Why is that? It's because there's a part of you in your ego that doesn't want to let it go. So it's putting up its last final hurrah. It doesn't want to let it go. Why? Because that is what has been familiar to you, and what is familiar to us, our minds believe is safe. So there's a little part of you that's screaming, this is unsafe, this is unsafe, this is unsafe, to actually release the addiction. Because the addiction has been feeding something within you that has made you feel safe for whatever reason. It could have been something picked up by your parents or whatever, but you have some belief that it's serving you in some way, and you believe that it keeps you safe, when in fact, the exact opposite is true. We are actually safer when we don't have addictive energies ruling our lives, and when we can consciously and purposefully choose our actions every day. We become safer and safer in this world because we are the decider, we are the chooser, and it is not this like fast, chaotic kind of energy that is really running through us, that we're allowing to be our decider and our chooser. So it's super important to just realize that this is part of the process of shifting it. Okay, and it's gonna be a little bit hard. It might feel that way, right? Because you're creating a new familiar. That neuro pathway is being created, and so it's a little bit jarring on the inside. But this is just the initial shift. And when you continue, every day it gets a little easier to put momentum in the new direction. Then you're going to feel all of that less and less and less as time goes on. And here's the really big thing. You're going to have to focus on the new way of being so much more than everything that is going on in your mind and in your body that says you want to revert back to what you had before. You must, every time it gets really loud, you need to continue shifting your focus and your feelings into the new way of being. What it feels like to be free of this. You need to imagine it, you need to visualize it, and you need to feel it in your body. And you need to bring new feelings into your body. And I'm going to tell you something else that has really helped me. So there is this particular space of thought, this frame of mind that you can get into that is very neutral, which I have done to defeat addictive energies that would show up in my life in different areas. And I'm going to try to explain this the best I can to you because I think it's super, super key. It's almost getting into a spot in your mind that is so neutral, it doesn't have any attachment to the past or the future, and it doesn't really pay much attention to anything that's actually going on, and it's just a neutral space. Here's an example, and this is a slightly different topic for another video, but it's going to help you understand what I mean and how you can get into this neutral frame of mind. So, time and time again in my life, I have experienced electronic devices, cars, mechanical vehicles, whatever, especially like phones and stuff, just recovering on their own when they seemed like they were initially breaking, right? So I had this particular phone for 7 years when I was younger, a long time, and throughout the span of having that phone, different things would happen with it. Something wacky would occur, and if I focused on, oh, it's broken, oh, I need to fix it, blah, 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 that's what would have happened. But I always approached it with this energy of, let's just see what happens. And not really already making a story about it being broken. And it's almost this forgetting that's happening with it. And so when you're overcoming an addictive energy, it's very similar in that approach it every day with this energy. Let's just see what happens next. And that part that's really screaming at you when you're rerouting and you're shifting with a lot of chatter in your mind and a lot of sensation, that's what you just kind of forget is happening. You just forget it. You bring your mind into this neutral spot and you don't focus on it. And you just kind of ride this other wave, like above it. Simply with let's see what happens next. And in combination with all this inside energy work that you're doing, you take those outside physical action steps at the same time. So it is literally pulling yourself away from the routine and habit of what you used to do And like I said, replacing it with something else that actually makes you feel better and sustains you in a better way. And for me, you know, it was stuff like meditating, it was stuff like practicing yoga, it was stuff like getting outside and gardening, it was stuff like dancing, getting lost in a dance. Those were big ways. Or doing like a craft project that I liked, painting something, drawing something, spending my time playing the piano instead, and just things like that. So you can find something that you like, that you enjoy, that makes you feel good. And so first of all, relinquishing the identity. It's not a part of who I am. Nothing's been passed on to me by my parents. It's simply an energetic vibration that my consciousness chose to receive as part of conditioning through my childhood experiences. And now it manifests in my life. And my brain actually created a space for this energy because it believed that it was feeding a part of me that desperately felt like it wanted fulfillment and needed something. And it believed it was keeping me safe and serving me in some way. Well, now I realize that that's not true. And it's actually safer for me to create a life for myself that is free of any addictive energies playing out. And so when you come into those realizations and you choose that this is what you're going to do, and you know the whole universe supports you, inside, your soul, and everybody outside, right? Because we're all connected. So when you get to this point, then it's the internal energy work. It's the realizing, okay, there's gonna be discomfort here as I do this radical shift. But when I keep putting momentum into feeling better in a different way, that's going to become my new normal as every day goes on. And then when those sensations start coming up in your awareness, in your life, whatever thoughts that you think that say, oh, I can't do this, oh, I shouldn't do this, oh, I should go back to doing it the way that I've done before, oh, it would be so much easier, oh, I'm not sure about this, and this, and your body is actually screaming at you too because it's not getting its usual fix or fill, that's when you get into that neutral space. That space that doesn't really pay attention to it. That space that soars through it, that space that literally doesn't focus on it, that literally chooses not to see it, and that literally asks in a curious way, I wonder what's happening next. I'm curious to see what happens next. What happens next? What happens next? And you don't attach any kind of thoughts or stories to what is happening, right? And so just remember my example of like a phone, like literally I've had so many different things that, they could have broken, but that's not what I made myself an energetic match for. And so it could not happen, and it didn't. I mean, I even had with my van, it started making this really, really loud noise last year. And, I was not an energetic match for it breaking down. And you know what happened? The noise started subsiding and it drove really well for months and months, right? So that's all I can really say. Internalizing that neutral space. And I want to say one more thing. If you desire to be free of any addictive energies running in your life, That is a sacred desire that has been placed there by your soul, by your spirit, by your higher self, God, source of the universe, whatever you believe in. It is a sacred desire. It is meant for you because it is sacred desire that has been placed in your heart, right? You desire it. It is sacred. And that means that it is meant for you, and that means that you are more than capable of bringing this into fruition. Otherwise, if you were at a place where you wouldn't, it wouldn't be showing up as a desire for you. Okay? I want you to use what I just said to amplify your self-belief that you can do this, that this is the right time for you to do this, that you are meant to do this now, and that you are successful with this. You are successful with this already. There is a version of you in the universe that exists that has made it out of this. I don't care how long it's been going on. I don't care, what the previous stories were. It is sacred. It is meant for you. Because it is meant for you, it is the right time, and you are more than capable of doing this right now. Okay? My nose really itches today. Okay. So I want you to keep all this in mind, and I want you to go forward and listen to this video, day 1 of being in a new way and releasing the addictive energy and coming into a new way of being, day 1. I want you to listen to this video, day 2. I want you to listen to this video, day 3 and day 4 and day 5. It really helps to have another perspective, a coach, a mentor, somebody in your ear every day while you're going through this. Of course, I am a life coach, and if you would like my help while you're overcoming addiction, please message me and we will talk about it and see if we would be a good fit to work with each other. Okay? I know that you can do this. Why? Because I have done this myself, and I'm sharing with you some of my best beliefs, mindsets, practices, energetic tips, right, for being successful with this. Because you can, because you are strong, and because you are an infinite being who is infinitely powerful. That means that before any addictive energy exists or comes into your life or manifests, you are there first. You are beyond this energy. You are more than this energy. This energy takes up a minuscule space in your life, which you give a lot of focus to, and from here forward, that changes, that shifts, that's done with completely, forever and ever. Amen, right? Okay, so please feel free to ask me any questions that you have about this. Anybody else who has overcome addictions in their life, I would love, 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 love to hear your experience. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about what the energy was like when you shifted. What were your thoughts like? It's super important to take those inward steps as we take those outward steps. I know a lot of other programs kind of focus on the outward steps, but it is both, right? It's a matching up, our outside supporting our inside supporting our outside, and that's really our mind, our emotions, our body, our energy, everything working together to come into a new way of being, which is totally possible and is a sign that you're ready to level up. Your soul is calling for growth and expansion, and with growth and expansion always comes more and more better feelings, feelings of being freer, feelings of more joy, feelings of peace, feelings of happiness. Okay, so that's really all I have to share with you today on how you can overcome addictive energy in your life. Please share this video if you think that it would help somebody that you know, or post it on your social media page, and give it a thumbs up if there was something in this video that really struck a chord with you today. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you resonate with me and you would love to see more videos from me when I post new ones that get released, so you can be the first to get in on the discussion with me. Okay, everybody, again, I'm Rachel Wild, and I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I love you all. God bless you, and I will see you next time.